Hello, Dr. Tawanna Worlds by birth, also known as a disruptor. Did you know that millions who grew up in poverty also die in poverty? Have you ever heard the saying, what good can come out of the hood? Well, I'm here to disrupt for just a minute. Yes, I was that little girl that grew up in the hood, grew up in the ghetto, single mother, absent father, eating out of the trash. I help men and women from similar backgrounds find value in their own vote and create wealth from within. What's up, cousins and cousinettes, kinfolks and kinfolkettes? What's going on, good people? Let me fix my screen for just a quick moment. All right. All right. What's going on, good people? I'm going to be in and out. I'm not going to be long, but I'm going to be strong. First and foremost, I'm going to say welcome in to everybody. Whether you're here for the first time or you are a returning cousin or kinfolk, welcome back. If you don't mind sharing this with somebody, please do so. I believe that we all need to know what hour we are all in, okay? Anything that I'm going to discuss with you is probably going to be what you missed or probably what is put out there, but it's hidden because there's so much entertainment and other stuff to be focused on. So because I am the disruptor, I came by to bring y'all up to speed, okay? I'm going to definitely offer some opportunities, which I like to call passages out. I've been telling y'all for a very long time, before we even got here, what the play was. I don't know why so many of my people have delayed, and look, we only got 90 days or less before what I'm about to show you happens. So with that being said, welcome in. Please share, tag, invite, copy, paste the link, send out, an invite, however you got to share it, like a couple weeks ago. China stepping in with Russia, sending weaponry over there to Russia, Iran, China, Russia, they all a part of one big coalition, okay? And their goal is to knock the United States out of the race. They didn't say this out of their mouth. Okay? We're tired of y'all being a superpower, and we want y'all gone. It's time for some new dogs in town. That's why they went and created this whole, Brazil, Russia, the BRICS thing, so that they can stop spending money and using our currency. All of these things have been leading up to where we're at now. And I'm getting ready to show you what they said, okay? 90 days or less will be the midterms. They don't want no midterm, for the simple fact that Trump has did all sorts of things that they can impeach him for. And if the Democrats take back the House and the Senate and all of this stuff, be in very favorable positions more than, they are now, because it's majority Republican. But because of all of the things that he have done, and people do not agree with what he has done on both sides, and the people in the middle do not agree with what he has done, all of the things that he has done internationally and domestically could be impeachable. And he knows, and they know, he's going to be impeached. So he's been making little jokes about, hey, I'm running for 2028. All you guys don't have to worry about elections again. They're all rigged. We need fair elections. He's been setting up things, this whole, security of peace, where he done created his own governing board. And it's full of, other foreign country prime ministers and stuff, where they feel like we don't need elections no more. The richest, wealthiest people over that, continent will be able to rule that continent. So it's called Donald Trump's Board of Peace. He's been using the American taxpayers' dollars to fund you. You can go look up everything. I done already went over this. I'm just bringing y'all up to where we're at so it makes sense, because we have been so discombobulated and we have been so entertained with what's going on. We know more about what's going on in the world of celebrityism and all of this stuff more than we know about what's happening economically. And that is where things get real bad and real nasty. Because when people cannot feed their families and they cannot pay their bills and they cannot take care of themselves or take care of the ones that they love and the ones that's entrusted into their care, it gets real nasty. And if you look around, there are a lot of people melting down, crashing out, people, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull up the receipt. So in July, I told you guys that China is stepping in this war with Iran against America. I just gave y'all the whole scoop of why, what's going on, what's happening, and why this has to be staged, okay? I'm going to show you Donald Trump himself, right along with a former attorney that worked for him at the White House recently, telling everybody this is going to be staged for the midterms. Why? Because if there's any type of war that breaks out, if there's any type of, global pandemic that happens, all of our constitutional rights, all of our laws and codes that, communications can be seized and you could be put on martial law and told to stay down, lock down, all of this stuff. Okay. Any type of, hey, these are my constitutional rights, that's out the door. You don't have any during some type of emergency. So while him and the man president from Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, was meeting in the White House, they joked about not having no election for midterm 2 years ago. He said, yeah, well, if we have a war pop off, there won't be no midterms. And because a lot of people feel he has sold this country out to another foreign country, merged their military with our military, we're just in a lot of trouble. Okay, I'm gonna go through the headlines real quick because I'm not gonna hold you guys here long, but I want to bring you up to where we are so that when I present to you, you're not lost and like, what in the world is going on, or what? I didn't even know that. No, this is the reason why. Okay, it's not conspiracy theory. It's exactly what they say. Like I said, the information is just hidden. Okay, this was on Reuters, July 30th. Iran to get Chinese shoulder launch missile systems in weeks. You do not arm up no whole bunch of launching missile systems unless you're launching long-term weaponry. Iran is expected to receive within weeks a first shipment out of up to 400 Chinese-made shoulder-fired air defense missile launchers. So we start seeing that. They start talking about on the West Coast how, they were going to be getting attacked. And Iran was going to be, to blame for it. They was going to use these drones. So California has been on high alert for like the last month, predominantly California for whatever reason. But let me go up here to the next one. They may be out of order, okay? I'll go ahead and share this one as well because this is important. A lot of people were complaining about Mr. Trump and, what he's doing with these data centers and how this is, drinking up all of the water, is poisoning, polluting the water from these AI data centers, and people is pitching a fit about it. They don't want AI. And he's telling everybody, no, you can get on board or suck it up because this will be our future. Why? Because China and America is in a war, been in one. We have been in a war, you guys, since 2020. 1000%. What was released was warfare. It's called I was about to say chemical. That wasn't chemical. What's the word that I'm looking for? Like viral warfare. Forgot the name of it. But, it's like a contagion. In 2020, that happened. And then we find out where we originated. People are now in Congress testifying, and things are coming out. Been seeing Dr. Fauci all last week. People are finding out this was all a drill. Okay, we've been in warfare. The fentanyl, the open borders, letting foreigners come over here and rip the American people completely off. Completely off. Sending all of the American taxpayers' dollars, money to fund foreign wars that have no expiration date. Making you work harder to keep up with the inflation, and that still is not enough. We've been in warfare. But now it's like, no, because they are already ahead of us technology-wise. Now Trump is trying to get this and chips from this and make deals for this. And it's like, whether you guys like it or not, this is what it's going to be. Because if China wins in this AI race, America is done. I don't care what kind of system they got. America is going down. It doesn't matter how long they've been in power, it's going down. So there is a war between these continents. Who's going to stay in power? Who's going to take the lead? All of this stuff, been trying to bankrupt America for the last 6-7 years. 100%. Been trying to sneak attack. And no, they don't have to use weaponry. Not like this. They were caught smuggling China nationalists. Not people who were American. These were Chinese nationalists. You can go look it up. I shared it everywhere, that were caught smuggling mushrooms and stuff that goes into the dirt to poison the food that we are eating. They were studying it down in Minnesota. We are being overtaken. No pun and no offense to not any Muslim, but this is not a Muslim nation. And now you have Muslims coming in here taking over offices, the highest offices in New York. And now demanding that you must verify yourself with ID, digital ID, in order to get into the government-run grocery stores. Hey, if you want to save, $1 on a head of lettuce, our grocery stores are way cheaper, but you got to do this. Taking over, is it Minnesota? Minnesota. Go look it up. These are the things we ought to be paying attention to. But now this man, here he is saying, okay, it is what it is. So you have to get on board and hear me clearly. I would never be one to come and say, because I'm going to tell you and explain to you in a minute what I mean by get on board. So nothing that I'm saying is misconstrued. I'm not going to never tell you to do something or be a part of something that is going to cost you your soul or cost you your integrity or cost you your livelihood. That's never going to come from my lips, never going to come from my spirit, never going to come from me, period, because I'm not going to do that. However, if you don't create your own system, which I have been preaching for a very long time, then you need to learn a skill. If this is the way that the world is going, and you can use AI to create you a record, use AI to create you some apps, use AI for good, right? To create you some books or some ebooks or some guides or some templates. Use AI to learn a skill, because those who do not know how to use AI, you are going to suffer. It's the way the world's going. So you ought to learn a skill while you can before the world go all the way completely right or left. But we are, in the days to come, there are some very dark times ahead of us. 100%. In the days to come. And you know what is so messed up about all of this? Is that they literally used us, used our labor, used our time, to make this country great again. And now Half of the American population cannot pay their bills, their basic necessities. Meanwhile, the people that are learning how to use these systems and the people who control the systems that people are learning how to use are being filthy rich overnight. And in using that very richness and wealthiness to ship it offshore to foreign countries, not only that, to build things that are going to replace you or build things that you will not be able to participate in. That's the crazy part about it. Let me see if it'll let me just go straight ahead. Okay, yeah, this was the man. This is the Muslim man up there. This was a live video. This man won the mayoral race last year. His laws and beliefs and ideologies are, just a fifth grader would be like, yeah, now. But they are so cunning. They promise people that are low incomed, hey, you know what? If landlords are slumlords to you and they're not fixing your property, we're going to give them one warning. And if they don't fix it, or if they don't fix it to our liking, then we, the government, will take that landlord's property from them all outright, make it our own, and then we will rent to you and fix it up for you. Now, I'm in all favor of making sure people got a dwelling place that is inhabitable. But what I'm not in favor of, and what people would miss out of that, is why is the government coming and taking somebody's property because they might have failed to do something to your liking? This is called overreach. Then you start promising these stores. Then you start promising, hey, we're going to tax the wealthy so that you don't got to pay to ride the trains. He targeted poor people. He targeted people out here working and busting their butts to pay bills. And the reason why they are so poor, because they don't have nowhere near as much time as bills that they have, and responsibilities and food and family and gas and internet. Y'all is charging people out of life. You have inflated people out of everyday living. But New York City will require IDs to prove you live in the city in order to shop at the city-owned grocery stores. This man, and look at the face he got behind him. When have you ever heard of such a thing? He's changing it from the inside out. Why am I showing you this? Because California is just like it. They didn't came into these big cities. Overthrow them first. Okay? I reported out in Fresno, California. Y'all can go look this up. Here's the keywords right here. Google wants to launch the largest open air biological, that's the word I was looking for when I said viral outbreak, biological warfare. Google, who we search, who we use, wants to launch the largest open air biological experiment in American history to release all these millions and millions, 64 million bacteria infected mosquitoes in Florida and California. We can go to Google right now and I'll show you they was out here releasing mosquitoes and wonder why people is afflicted and affected. Who gives these people the right to do these things? We go to Google right now. They already did they drill and released a whole bunch of them. Now, this is where we get into the 90 days or less. Okay? For the last week, we have been attacked on our water system. For the last week. If you guys did not know, go look it up. I believe today, New Jersey is the 8th state that was attacked with their water system. And China and Russia is the people behind it, right along with Iran. That's why I said they don't have to launch a missile. They can attack our waterways. Do you know how many people would perish without water? We don't think like this. You know how many people will perish without water? You can go longer without eating than you can go without water. If you have no water, no safe water to drink, no clean water to bathe, if you have something wrong with your water, they attack the pumps and shut it completely off, which they did in 6 states in the last week. Pentagon is prepping the United States for a possible nuclear war with China, Russia. This is coming out of the Pentagon. Just all you got to go do. Iran used water hacks to intimidate, not to cripple, but to let them know we're not playing with you. 8 states in the United States was attacked last week. Water. I know for sure it was in Michigan. I know it was in like Tennessee, New Jersey. It was 8 states. I shared it here because I've been trying to tell my people, pay attention to this. We have been so spoiled in America, so spoiled, that we don't think to prepare. Just in case. I would rather be prepared just in case than to not be prepared just in case. Especially when you got people relying on you. Especially when you a mother, or you a father, or you a sibling, or uncle or aunt. You have a mother that you might take care of, a father that you might take care of. People that are dependent upon you. No, we have to prepare. 1,000%. We are so built out that we have nothing to prepare with, and that's dangerous. What is your backup plan if the water was shut off tomorrow? What is your backup plan if the water was shut off tomorrow? Do you have water saved up, stored up? How many number of people in your household? Because you're going to need to know how many gallons per day that you're going to need for your family size per day. Would a war, a possible this, possible that? Okay, we're just going to keep it moving. That was August the 5th, today. It's been all over the news. 2nd New Jersey municipal water systems targeted in cyber attacks. It's on ABC News. Just go screenshot that, type that in. You can see right there on the bottom. Excuse me. Right here, August 5th, 2026. Why are they not prepping the people? You know? They put it out there, but it's not mainstream. More than half of some U.S. weapon stockpiles used in the Iran war, raising concerns about China's threat. Well, y'all remember when Joe Biden left all the weaponry over in Afghanistan? Excuse me. When they left all of our weapons over there, our helicopters, our missiles, everything that they left over there in Afghanistan. Well, we was already short and had to remake those missiles and those weaponries and all of this stuff. We was already short from that. And weapons are not made overnight. They're made over years. Takes a very long time to make weapons. But now we short. We don't even have enough weapons to go into a war. And guess what? We are vulnerable as hell because China and Russia is amping up. We know y'all crippled. We know y'all ain't got a bunch of weapons. We didn't lend them all to Ukraine. We didn't send some over there showing off, bombing up stuff over there in Iran. It takes years to remake the missiles. That's why they've been giving Lockheed and Martin $1 billion contracts to try to, speed up the production and make more missiles and replace them. Firefighter jets and army, planes, aircraft that was injured or attacked over there while they over there dancing around with Israel's war with Iran, because it was never no smoke with America with no Iran. It was Israel's war. And because we are, I don't know, I'm going to just be mute on that, okay? Let's go to the next headliner. 90 days or less is when the midterms are. And I'm going to show you when I get done with this exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? U.S. said to plan shifting nuclear strategy to China and Russia. All of a sudden, they nuclear weapons. We need to shift these towards China and Russia. Y'all been knew we was under attack by China, okay, and Russia. You been knew when you first went at it with Iran and Russia withheld the ingredient, the fertilizer for the wheat that we use to feed our cattle and use to feed Americans and make medicine and stuff. When they withheld that, we was in war, okay? When they blocked the Strait of Hormuz, we was in war. We've been in war. But now the physical escalation because of the race to become the superpower. China and Russia and Iran is they twins. They locked in. And I guess Israel and America is supposed to be locked in. Bunch of baloney. The Pentagon is developing a new U.S. nuclear strategy in case of a regional war with China or the Russian Federation. August 5th, 2026 at 1:26 p.m. The U.S. has updated its nuclear strategy, emphasizing short-range tactical weapons. This is war on our soil. People. And this ain't to panic you. This is to prepare you. Pentagon eyes tactical nuclear shift to deter China, Russia without global escalation. So they like, we can do some short-term stuff to try to make them back off because they creep it in on us. So we try to do some short-term artillery to send a message that we're not playing around, but we don't even have enough weaponry to fight China, yet alone China and Russia. We would not. It's not looking good, peeps. NBC News. Pentagon drafting a new U.S. nuclear strategy in case of regional war with China or Russia, sources say. The classified strategy informs nuclear options for the commander-in-chief during crisis. So this is an emergency plan. Let me ask you all, do you have an emergency plan? Do you have one? They drawn up a new plan, policy shift to prioritize shorter range tactical equipment set to expand Trump's options during conflict. So they're coming up with a plan. But do you have a plan? U.S. drafts new nuclear strategy in case of regional conflict. It's been everywhere today. But I guarantee you that it has not been mainstream all day today. Okay? I guarantee you that. America is preparing for a nuclear war with Russia and China as bombshell plans leaked. That's why it's been trending today, viral today, because it just took Americans by surprise. We ain't stockpiled on no foods, no medications. We ain't stockpiled on no, toiletries. Why? Because we've been working and paying bills. And look at this. Nearly 30% of Americans are behind on debt payments in largest metro studies find. Consumers are falling behind on debts like their credit cards, their auto loans, their mortgages, and their student loans. Now, let me tell you how big that is. There's 350 million people in America. We're going to take away the 50 million because those are people who are not 18 years of age. They don't have no bills, children whose parents take care of them. So let's take away the 50 million. We left with 300 million. 30% of 300 million is a little over 100 million. 100 million people can't pay their bills. Rent, mortgage, car insurance, phone bills, you name it. Okay? So what my cousins did, record number of my YT cousins did, they just stopped paying their dang on bills. Okay? They just like, enough is enough. You guys are forcing us into pure homelessness and poverty at levels nobody in our generation had ever seen. So record number of people are not paying their bills. They paid to have a roof over their head and have some food and utility. Anything outside of that, they're not paying their bills. They're not giving their vehicles back. They are not, moving out of their homes, which will cause a bank crash, which will cause a credit crash, which will cause a country to crash. 30% are not able to pay their bills, and record numbers have just stopped paying their bills. And we think that America is going to be able to stand war, economic war. This is a video, a long one. People have stopped paying their bills, and it is worse than many realize. This person says, I work for a major bank. Hundreds of thousands of people have not paid their mortgages in over 6 months, and the banks don't know what to do. Didn't I just came by here, I believe not even a whole week ago, and let y'all know that JP Morgan, the man who owns that, Citibank, and Wells Fargo, said the way the numbers were looking, we're definitely going to have a bank crash. I said before people not able to, pay back their debts, or before they be like, look, we're not even going to be able to lend to you. Go get the bag. It wasn't even hard to do. You could have got an LLC for $45 in Arkansas and $20 for a registered agent. Put you a couple of trade lines, Granger, Quill, put you a couple of trade lines on there in 30 days, able to go get you $250,000 in funding. Been telling my cousins. Why? Before they don't have no money to give, and then you won't have no money to get or to spend and convert it into hard assets, which you gonna need. Cash is trash. Not right now, because we can still trade with it. But when this system collapsed, this is what they've been doing. Look at Elon Musk. Hold on. Unchecked deficit spending destroys purchasing power. and accelerates systemic collapse. As sovereign debt spirals out of control, investors are scrambling towards alternative hard assets. Didn't I just say you need some assets? Didn't I just say you need some assets? Didn't I just say you need some assets? Now investors are scrambling trying to get the assets that Dr. T was trying to tell y'all we need to go get before you have this type of scenario, this type of situation, and then we're stuck and left out without any hard assets. They're going to go get their hard assets to protect their wealth before the system breaks. Elon Musk said this out of his own mouth. You can go look it up. America's national debt is exploding at record speed, with daily interest payments devouring trillions. Musk warns that unless government spending is drastically cut, the nation risks catastrophic insolvency and severe currency devaluation. Yo, cash is trash. This man pulled a 42 fake, so he come out and he's like, hey, I'm gonna open up my was it SpaceX or Tesla? SpaceX stock. IPO. I'm gonna let it go live. IPO. This helped him reach the trillionaire mark because now everybody wanted to buy into the stock. Not realizing before they ever put anything public, there had to be a private, because there's always two sides of everything. So the people that were behind the scenes investing in the private sector, they the ones who got rich. He opened it up to the public, and the public started spending all this money thinking they was going to get rich. Shot him straight to trillionaire status, and guess what? 2 days later, it crashed. Sorry, money gone. Can't help it. Stock didn't do what we thought it was going to do. It crashed. We didn't make the goal or the percentages that we thought that we would make. And yeah, try again. That is screwed up. Now this man is telling, yeah, the economy is going to crash 100%. Because they were running plays, okay, to position themselves before it did. Elon Musk warns America is headed straight for total bankruptcy. If y'all look at the debt deficit, if you see the condition of this country and wonder, why am I in debt? Because you plugged into this system. We all should have been creating our own systems, and we all still should be creating our own systems. Because if you plug into this system, when it falls, so do you. That's why it's able to dictate and control how much your prices is for the food that you need, the nourishments. Let me come down here and find Mr. Trump. Is this it? See? Donald Trump did the same thing. He started Liberty World Financial. That's Donald Trump's new banking system. Elon Musk launches X Money, which is a financial service platform to replace banks. So now you got people who's replacing banks, quote unquote, rushing over here to be a part of his financial service or his financial system, which will keep him wealthy. He owns a system that everybody will eventually want a part of. If you tell people you can ditch the banks, yeah, why not? Yeah, let's try that. That is terrible, 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 terrible on so many levels. And we don't have one system. We ain't came up with no bartering system. Well, how we gonna survive if we don't want to get with this and we can't get no bank account, and we don't want to be a part of that system because that system comes with control and lots of it. Let me look for this other. Oh, this was the other water. Okay. U.S. sees Iran as likely behind the cyber attack on Minnesota water system. I had shared all of these, but since it was here, I decided to blow it up, share it again, okay? Also, when China was sending cargo planes, 16 military cargo planes to Iran in 56 hours, I already knew what was up. You do not fly this type of machinery if something ain't finna go down. It costs too much money to put one of them things up in the air. Too much. 56 of them? Are we serious? 56 of them. Hold on, I think I'm going the wrong way. Let me just go down here. Where's that with Mr. Trump? Hold on. Hey, Sabu. This was one of the declare emergency speeches that we were not made aware of. I screenshotted it as I was watching. Okay. What in the heck was the emergency services? It was to prepare for a sudden attack. Oh, we're going to do some of this and do some of that. Just take, precautionary measures. Bunch of baloney. I shared this too. And the reason why I shared this is because I took y'all to Google on my last couple of lives and showed you how they will seize your money during war. And it is 100% legit. And the banks want you to know it's not us seizing it, it's the government. If they're telling us that they're short on weapons and they want to seize the money that we have sitting inside of our bank accounts, leverage our money that we got sitting in there thinking it's doing something, they can do it. They did it to the people in the UK or in England. And then after they seized their money, they just told them, we expect that every man and woman this day will do their duty. Don't complain about your money. This is your sworn duty as an American citizen. If we seize your financial earnings or your savings or the money in your checking account, your paycheck, your direct deposit, if we seize that, we expect you to do your duty. We're running out of weaponry. We need to buy from another country. We need to buy. They can seize your money. And guess what? It took these folks 100 years. UK bonds that financed the first World War to be redeemed 100 years later. It ain't no when the war is over, we give you your money back. Treasury redemption scheme stretches all the way back to the Napoleonic and Crimean Wars. Iran, Crimea is over in Iran, Pakistan, that area. Okay? And the UK, England, the YT folks, same thing. Let me show you this one more. Here we go, right here. Okay, right on PBS News. You can go look it up right now. Trump is setting the stage to declare an emergency around midterms. Former White House attorney says July 16. This is being done intentionally. But the sad part about it is the people who did not prepare when the sirens were sounding and blasting will be the people that this affect. It will not affect Donald Trump. It don't ever affect him. Notice how the casualties be the civilians. The casualties always be innocent people. Men, women, boys, girls, don't matter. By all means necessary, I need to stay in power. That's all that matters to me. I'm not going to prison. They tried that with me. I fought so hard for them not to put me in prison to get back in this position. Do you think I'm going to let that go? Turn that over? No. I showed y'all a live video of this man stating 2028 is Donald Trump. Ain't gonna be no more elections. And if it does, it's gonna be somebody in that little inner circle. This is what all of this is about. You must prepare yourselves, people. This is not a game. You must learn what you can and learn it fast. You must know new skills. You ought to have something set up where you can barter. You ought to be in a community with other people in case you need to lean and depend on them, in case they need to help you get through, in case they need to help sustain you. Ain't nobody surviving solo bolo. Ain't nobody going to survive solo bolo. Not even to mention all of the stuff that they are putting into place for 2030. You might as well prepare today because you like years behind. But I would rather be days prepared than not prepared at all. Because I'm telling you, they are driving people to their breaking point, men and women. When you see men go on live camera, they may do a lot of things, but crying and breaking down, say they can't do this no more, say that they give up, we are in trouble. And a lot of the people look like me. I care enough. Am I fretting about all of the things that are happening? No. I'm not worried at all. Why? Because for the last 6 or 7 years, we have spent, there's video footage out there, garages full of all kind of stuff. Waters, burners, if you can't drive your vehicle, do you got like a 4-wheeler, a 3-wheeler? Do you have access to some type of river? If you need to go and fish to feed your family, you need to be prepared, cousins. And there are things that you need to know, and things that you need to do, and things that you really should have in your possession. If you ain't got gold, silver, land, and all of that stuff, there are things, everyday things that people need that you can actually go to the grocery store. I'm going to give you a hint. Sardines. Ain't nobody thinking about stockpiling those sardines. But let me tell you something. Sardines is a good source of protein. It's a whole meal in a sardine. You may not like it, but you can be sustained. It may not taste good, but you can be sustained and still get everything, all the nutrients you need. It is, full of very valuable nutrients that you would need in one day's meal or 3 meals to be sustained for a day. How to turn, how to, recycle and store water while you can. That's basic stuff. Okay, people ain't gonna be thinking about right now. Some of us in the coalition, hey, we're gonna go buy the feminine products. Because they going to run and get the water. They going to stockpile the water 100%. Just look at COVID. They're going to empty the shelves, but they ain't going to be thinking about Kotex and tampons at all. That's something you can barter. Oh, okay, you got some rice? Yeah, I got 2 tampons for you. Okay, if you want a whole box, then that would be 5 days meal. That would be a half ounce of, it's either that or bleed yourself. Have it your way. There's things that you will be able to barter and be able to trade, but you need to know what to barter, okay? First things first. Because of the urgency, we just concluded our last emergency preparedness workshops. And no, it ain't just about what type of stuff you need. That's most important. Stuff that you can grab off of Amazon right now for the low. Stuff that you can have that you will absolutely need. Should we go to war? They're already talking about attacking us with drones. Don Bongino, the FBI man who left the FBI, he got hired for the FBI with Donald Trump, and about a month ago decided that he don't want to do it no more and left the FBI, was just mentioning that the drone attacks is a real thing, especially out on the West Coast. To attack the Navy and the boats, San Diego, the bases, the Lancaster base. There's a lot of bases here. And this is not just about invasion. This is about overtaking. This is about overtaking, overthrowing, and overtaking. How, if you really want to topple a continent, hit it economically, weaken it, and then you go in for, the shebang. This weekend, and I said I wouldn't keep you here long, I'm not. I'm going to offer you guys, open it up for about 12 of you guys, whether you're here now or you'll see me in a minute. Come attend the emergency preparedness workshop. It is $97. It's a $97 investment, but I am going to give you strategies, blueprints, frameworks, credit-wise, funding-wise, things that I will never get here on the open live and say. Not because it's illegal, not because it's wrong, but because wealth is called secret for a reason. Wealth secrets is secret for a reason. That's why everybody is not wealthy. Everybody don't have access. One little bitty piece of information can change your finances overnight. 10 minutes with me giving you game. This is exactly what you need to do. Follow these steps in this order in order to reach here. In order to get here. Then you do A, B, C, D, and E. Pick up the phone. Give them this script right here. They're going to open up the account. Tell them instantly. They let you in that you want this type of setup and you want that type of setup. One going to be $25K. One going to be $15K. And boom, just like that. You $40,000 richer from a play I gave you, even with a 500 credit score. It's not information that I'm going to give you on Facebook, on YouTube, on any live stream. It's not how I operate. So yes, you're going to get prepared. Yes, you're going to have access to land. Yes, you're going to have access to others who are on the same path of preparation as yourself. Family members ain't always on board. So you need to create a family-like environment so that you're able to build for the family that's not on board. You're able to preserve the family that is not on board. Credit, moves you can make before they shut down the ability to go get a bag from them. Here's some things you can do rapidly. Hey, get those hard inquiries off in 24 hours or less. Hey, run this play through the FTC. Run this play through this person over here. Go ahead and get a report over here that you submitted this documentation to the credit bureaus and serve them the cease and desist. They cannot report any negative items on your credit report. Boom, in a matter of days, your score is good enough. Now we're going to go hit them personally, and then we're going to go ahead and create an entity so we can hit them that way too, okay? We're going to hit them at the same time in a matter of weeks. It's all about strategy. So I'm going to give you all of that inside of this emergency preparedness workshop. It is an urgent alert. This is not a drill. It's a wake-up call, okay? I'm going to give you the top 20 items that you should have in your possession that are just as good as gold, that people is going to need, okay? I don't care if you pick up one box, one bottle, one carton, one can. You have it because it's going to be the matter between survival or suffering. It's going to be the deal breaker for you. Okay? The workshop, I'm only opening it up to 12 people. It is a $97 investment. I'm going to give you everything that you need to know: where to find land, what to do with land, how to prepare, what items you should have on your hand, how to calculate exactly how much of what you would need per, person in your household, how to go run up a play with your credit, how to get that together rapidly, okay? Because there are strategies, okay? Dispute hides any negative. When you put your negative items into a dispute, they're hidden from your credit report. Okay, so there's ways, real legitimate, legal, ethical ways to repair your credit rapidly. And then the funding. We're going to do live funding on this workshop. So people will leave there, hey, here's this play. Go run it up. This is what you put. I'm going to walk you through the whole walkthrough. Okay? Live. And see what people get funded. The amounts that they're going to get funded. Now you got something to work with. Now you can take some of that funding and go get you a property, a distressed property. I don't care if it's distressed. It's yours. Okay? You can go get you a DSCR loan. Only put down this certain amount. Now you got a whole apartment complex. Never have to worry about paying nobody else's rent. If you ever needed to occupy one, you always have one to occupy. If you ever needed your family to live on your property, you have a property where your family could live upon. In the meantime, in between time, the government will pay you to subsidize for low income, especially in, low income neighborhoods, or where half of, the community is low income. Doesn't mean brown skin, okay? It just means low income. What's going on, love? But they will definitely pay you real well to help with affordable housing. So now you got flexible income coming in every single month. You ain't got to worry about whether you'll ever have somewhere to lay your head. You got investment coming back. You use their capital. So the reason why you need to know how to go get it. Stop using your money to pay bills and use their money to build. Use their capital. Oh, okay, you gave me that. Gave me that DSCR loan. Cool. Now I'm going to use what you gave me to go buy this 5-plex, this 20-plex. Okay? I'm going to use what you gave me to go buy that. And then what I buy, it's going to pay you back, because ain't no money never coming from mine. And then I get the surplus of whatever I'm paying you back monthly, $800, $900. Forget it. I'm banking in $8,000, $9,000 on my duplex, my triplex, whatever the case may be. I'm banking this type of money every month. I'm going to give you your $800. I might even double it up to $1,600. The rest is on me to go rinse, wash, and repeat if I want to do that, or invest into other assets. Okay, so that is what it is. That is the only offer. I wanted to keep this short, sweet, straight to the beat. I'm right at an hour and 7 minutes. Okay, any questions for me? Here's your open invitation. Here's your open invitation. And for those who have not been paying attention, I don't come by here as often, right? Not anymore. I don't want to beg nobody. I will tell you the truth. I will point to you and say, look, watch that. That's going to come for you. That's my job as a watchman. But if you are not ready to do something to put yourself in a better position, I'm not telling you, hey, buy something from me because I want you to buy something from me. No, you're going to pay me for my time, 100%. But what I'm telling you is prepare for what is to come. Prepare yourself, prepare your family. You've got to have a plan. You've got to have a plan B. You've got to. If not, there will be millions of people that will perish. 100%. Millions of people that will perish. 100%. Since there is no questions, I'm going to let y'all go with that. I love y'all. Let me put the information on the screen. If you would like to attend, these are the payment platforms that I am receiving payments from. Make sure you include your email so I can send you the access info to the live workshop, Q&A, lifetime access to the recording, okay? In case you need to listen to it over and over and over again, in case you need to tell a friend, tell a family, call a family meeting, you will have access to this. In case you wanted to get a group of people together on a Zoom and let it play for you. Charge people $33 to come and listen and get this very valuable information that I'm going to give to you. And you never have to do any training. You never have to do any, you know, presentations. You never have to do anything. Throw it on Zoom, a watch party, and then they get the same game. Each one teach one. All right, y'all. I love y'all. If ain't nobody told y'all that today, I'm going to tell you that right here, right now. Remember that you are not by yourself. I pray that you are well physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. I pray that you go in peace and not in pieces. If nobody has told you today that they love you, I do. And I need you to survive. Until the next time, straight up out of here.